Hi, my name's Jen Wood, and some of you will know me from the Yard in Edinburgh, and others won't have met me yet. So it's lovely to meet you, and thank you very much for joining me today to find out a bit about mindfulness. But why would you want to listen to me about mindfulness? I am an emotional well-being coach, a therapist, and a mindfulness teacher. And I have found mindfulness really helpful in my life, and I'd really love to share some of these benefits with you. Mindfulness can help us to be more relaxed. It can help to settle our minds. It can help us to feel happier, more resilient, more capable, cope better with children at home, cope better with our partners, and cope better with all of the things that life throws our way. It certainly has really helped me in that way. And one way that it can be really helpful is that we have a tendency, or our minds can have a tendency to either get distracted by the past, to get stuck in things that happened in the past, or to jump into the future, to kind of be constantly kind of guessing and worrying about what might happen, what if. And what does that feel like? Often when we get stuck in the past, our mood can feel low. We can even feel depressed. And if we've been there before, sometimes that can make us feel anxious too. If we find ourselves focusing on the future, worrying about what might happen, what if this happens, what if that happens, we can feel anxious. We can even feel fear. And neither of these things are helpful. And one way that we can support ourselves to feel better using mindfulness is to bring ourselves back into the present moment, to constantly recognize when we're getting pulled into the past or we're time traveling into the future, and we can just come back again and again and again, noticing we're getting distracted and coming back. Now, I know that I make it sound quite easy, and it's not easy, but it's definitely possible to learn it. And I'm going to be sharing some simple practices to help you learn how to feel happier, how to feel more resilient, how to feel more relaxed, how to cope better with difficulties in life. So, the first aspect of mindfulness is knowing what's happening in the moment or while it's happening. So basically, it's about developing our awareness. Now, that can be easier said than done if we're spending a lot of our time in our past or in our future, but we're going to learn different ways to bring ourselves back into present moment awareness. And hopefully we're going to make it fun as well. That's only one part of mindfulness. The first part is coming back into the present moment and being aware of what's happening while it's happening. The second part is not to beat ourselves up when we realize what's happening. Oh, I was stuck in the past again. Oh, I was time traveling to the future again. What an idiot. And so I know that is also not too easy, but we're going to be practicing this too. So the first practice, the first thing I'd like to share with you and that we can do together, hopefully, is a practice called the raisin practice, where you will either need a raisin, I've got a little raisin here, or a piece of fruit, it can be anything really, piece of apple, a piece of clementine, or even a piece of chocolate or a sweetie. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is that you've got something which you are happy to hold in your hand, pop in your mouth, and can safely swallow. So if you want to just pause for a moment and go and get something, I'll wait for you to come back. And so with whatever you have got, raisin or a piece of fruit or chocolate or sweet, the reason that we are doing this together today is that we are going to notice that tendency of our minds to get distracted by the past, by the future. And when that happens, we can kind of miss our present. We can live our lives on autopilot and miss our present. And so by this piece of food that you have on your hand, we are going to slow things down. We are going to slow time down. And we are going to use all of our senses to just notice what's happening in the present. So firstly, just holding your piece of food, holding it in your fingers, holding it, maybe putting it in the palm of your other hand and just looking at it. Just noticing. Take some time to really look at it, really focus on it. What does it look like? Can you give this your full attention? Let your eyes explore every part of it. Maybe there are parts that catch the light and other parts, like on this raisin, that are darker, like hills and valleys, ridges and troughs. Just noticing any unique features of this raisin or whatever you have in your fingers and your hand. And now just start to notice the feeling of this piece of food between your fingers in your hand. How does it feel? Explore its texture. Really notice whether it's smooth or rough, cool or warm. Maybe close your eyes and see if that changes the way that you're experiencing the texture of this piece of food. Does it? And now bring it up to your nose and just breathe in. Maybe it has no smell. Maybe it does have a smell. Maybe it's subtle. Maybe you like the smell. Maybe you don't like the smell so much. Maybe it's quite sweet. Maybe it's sour. Just notice as you smell, as you breathe in the scent of this piece of food, and maybe closing your eyes again, just notice if there's any reaction in your mouth. Perhaps, do you notice more saliva being generated? Is your body reacting in any way as the digestive juices start to flow? And now take this piece of food and gently place it on your lips. Just feeling, again, the texture, smelling, and whenever you're ready, notice how your hand knows where to go towards your mouth. Notice how your automatic pilot knows where to position this food. Just spend a few moments with the piece of food just either resting on your lips or just in front of your mouth. And then place the raisin on your tongue. Place it in your mouth wherever it needs to be for you to eat it, for you to chew it. But don't chew it yet. As you close your mouth down over whatever you've got in your mouth, just allow the inner architecture of your mouth to really feel this piece of food. Perhaps using your tongue to run over the texture of the food. Maybe there's a bit of skin. Maybe there's some flesh. Maybe one side feels different from the other side. Just notice whatever feelings your tongue can pick up. And as you slightly bite into it, just slightly, notice what happens. Notice if that saliva starts to get produced. Notice how difficult it is to stop yourself from just chewing it really quickly and swallowing it. Just gradually, maybe nibbling it, circling it around in your mouth, and then gradually start to chew it. And notice the taste. Notice the sensations. And whenever you feel ready to swallow it, see if you can notice that thought or impulse to swallow before you swallow it. And notice how hard it is. Notice how we swallow on autopilot. And just allow yourself to chew and swallow the remainder of whatever you're eating. And finally, just see if you can feel the sensation of whatever you've just eaten, just gradually going down your throat and into your stomach. And just reflecting on how long that has taken us. That's taken us almost 5 minutes to eat one raisin or small piece of fruit or sweetie or chocolate. And think about how long that process would normally have taken you. I don't know, a few seconds perhaps. Maybe I'm speaking for myself. So, I wonder if we were able to slow things down just for a moment and start to notice them, how much more enjoyment we would get from them. Maybe you found that frustrating. And we did it quite slowly just to make a point. But the next time you eat something, think about the speed that you eat and just experiment with slowing it down a little and just seeing if slowing down can help you enjoy what you're eating more. It could certainly help you digest things better. So I'm just suggesting this as an experiment to do. And if you want to use it as an excuse to eat some more sweeties, that's okay. But see if you can eat one thing each day in a mindful way. You don't need to do it as slowly as we did it with that raisin, but just giving yourself a moment to look at what you are about to eat, smell what you're about to eat if it has a smell, move it towards your mouth, pop it on your tongue, and just for a moment savor it in your mouth before you swallow. And just notice, just see how you get on. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. Do comment and let me know what you thought. And I look forward to seeing you next time with another bite-sized chunk of mindfulness. Thank you.